Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the war room. You got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, and B. Austin, the hot block commander.
Jimmy, a.k.a. The Blueprint, a.k.a. Spike Tarantino, coming to you. And this week I want to talk about people not being able to separate a person off the field, court, golf course, or wherever they display their talent, from an athlete who displays greatness. Now, let me break down what I mean by this. I thought about this due to several recent conversations I've had. The first was in reference to one Kobe Bean Bryant. I was talking to someone about how Kobe was a great player, not only now, but an all-time great. They looked at me with an incredulous smile and told me he wasn't even a great player now, so how could he be an all-time great? When I asked them why they felt that way, they started to tell me about how he was arrogant, he snitched on Shaq, he violated a young woman in Colorado, and a bunch of other sanctimonious garbage that I always hear. When talking about Kobe, you know, people always come up with this nonsense. Basically, when talking about Kobe, people invariably give the same response to why he isn't great. So I'm not surprised at this point when I hear that. Here's the next thing happened. While I was watching the NFL Network, they were ranking the top 100 players of all time, and it came down to one Orenthal James, Simpson, that is, O.J. Simpson. When they were talking about him, the gentleman who was going over his highlights admitted that O.J.'s off-the-field issues affected where he was ranked on this list. Now, I don't know whether or not O.J. committed those heinous acts, but at the same time, I know he was a beast at running back. For those that have seen the highlights that can remember, O.J. was a great player, but nonetheless, they said because of what happened off the field, it messed up his ranking. The third incident was when Mike Vick went out on Monday night and committed heinous acts of his own, but it was on the Redskins' defense. After his historic performance, when talking about the game with some people, they started telling me about how he was a murderer, a criminal, a disgrace, and a bunch of other nonsense I won't repeat. Yes, Michael Vick has made mistakes, but he paid his debt and moved on, so why don't people do the same? I mean, that really bothered me. There are countless other incidents such as the ones I've just mentioned, but these three incidents made me realize that people are basically stupid. That's right, I said it. People are idiots for the most part and have no life of their own, so they sit around and hold others to a higher moral standard than they do themselves. I know it is difficult to separate the person from their craft, and I'm not asking people to be myopic when looking at an athlete, but don't be so stupid that you diminish their achievements because of their mistakes away from their sport. As long as these mistakes don't affect their game like one Eldrick Tiger Woods, then don't let it affect your opinion when judging them as athletes. What's next? Will we start to look at the sartorial dichotomy of an athlete's clothing and say they're not great because of it? Because if it starts there, you know, there's a cavalcade of athletes that I go to say, look, they went from being great to trash truck because of that. Because the bottom line is, it's all about what they do on the field, not what they do off the field. So my point is this. Appreciate the athletes for what they do in sport and make sure you have a life of your own so you don't have to worry about what these Richard heads do in their off time. And I'm nice.
Welcome to the war room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the hot block commander. Give it to you how you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Bold with the topics, sort of like some rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fat Five during prime time. Sports conglomerate to speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th, so the war in Kuwait. It's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, the